My son's private school demanded an additional $10,000 donation for his admission. My email response to the board went viral. I, 42M, never thought I'd be the type to go viral for anything. I'm just a regular guy with a corporate job, a mortgage, and a family I'd do anything for. But sometimes, the line gets crossed, and you have to take a stand. 3 months ago, my wife and I were ecstatic when our son got accepted to one of the most prestigious private schools in our area. It was a grueling application process. Essays, interviews, recommendation letters, the works. Our boy is bright, but not a genius, kind but not extraordinary. We just wanted a school that would nurture his potential and give him opportunities we never had. The acceptance letter came with the expected high tuition fee, $35,000 per year, which we had prepared for. We're not wealthy, but we'd been saving since he was born, and with some careful budgeting and a bit of help from my parents, we could swing it. It was a stretch, but for education, we were willing to make sacrifices. Then came the phone call that changed everything. We're thrilled to welcome your son to our community, the admissions director said with practiced warmth. There's just one more thing to discuss before we finalize enrollment. That one more thing turned out to be an additional voluntary contribution of $10,000 to the school's building fund. The way she phrased it made it clear this wasn't actually voluntary. It's customary for all new families to support our capital campaign, she explained. It demonstrates commitment to the school's future. I remained silent for a moment, processing what I was hearing. I'm sorry, but that wasn't mentioned anywhere in the admissions materials or financial documents we reviewed. Her voice cooled noticeably. It's understood among our community. All our families contribute beyond tuition. When I explained that we were already stretching our finances to the limit for the tuition itself, there was an uncomfortable pause. Perhaps this isn't the right fit for your family, then, she suggested. We have other qualified candidates on our wait list who understand our culture of giving. The threat was thinly veiled. Pay up, or your son's spot goes to someone else. I told her I'd need to discuss this with my wife and hung up, blood boiling. My wife was as shocked as I was. We spent the night weighing our options. Could we take out a loan? Ask more family members for help? But something about the whole situation felt fundamentally wrong. It's not just about the money, my wife said. It's about the principle. What kind of values are they teaching if this is how they operate? She was right. If this was how they treated families before we even started, what else would we encounter down the road? The next morning, I crafted an email to the school board. I took my time, editing carefully, making sure to be respectful but direct. I detailed our experience, questioned their transparency, and explained why their voluntary contribution system created inequity in education. I closed by withdrawing our son's application and expressing hope that they would reconsider their policies for other families in our position. I sent it expecting nothing. Maybe a form response, or more likely, silence. What I didn't expect was for a board member to forward my email to a friend who works in education policy, who then shared it on Twitter. Apparently, it struck a nerve. Within 48 hours, my words had been shared thousands of times. Local news picked it up, then national outlets. Parents from across the country began sharing similar stories. The hashtag not-so-voluntary donations started trending. The school called me in a panic. Would I be willing to meet with the head and board chair? They were concerned about misunderstandings and wanted to clear the air. I agreed to the meeting but refused to sign the NDA they tried to slip me beforehand. The head of school was apologetic but defensive. These contributions are how we fund scholarships, he explained. Without them, we couldn't offer financial aid to deserving students. Then why not be transparent about it? I asked. Include it in the listed costs instead of springing it on families after acceptance. Some families can give more, the board chair said. We don't want to limit their generosity. Or maybe you don't want families like mine applying in the first place, I countered. The truth hung in the air between us. They offered my son admission without the additional contribution. I declined. By then, it wasn't just about the money. I couldn't imagine sending him somewhere that had shown such questionable values. The aftermath was unexpected. 3 board members resigned. The school announced a review of advancement practices. A dozen other prestigious schools in the region suddenly clarified their donation policies on their websites. More surprisingly, we received emails from parents at the school thanking us. Many had paid similar voluntary amounts despite financial hardship, fearing their children would face consequences if they didn't. Some had been asked for annual contributions beyond tuition for years. My son, he's attending our local public school this fall. It's not perfect, but the principal is transparent, the teachers are dedicated, and the community is genuine. When I drop him off each morning, I know we made the right choice. Sometimes standing up for what's right comes with a cost. But the unexpected ripple effects remind me that one voice can make a difference, even when you're just trying to do right by your kid. Edit 1. Wow, this blew up overnight. Thanks for all the support and the awards. To answer some common questions. 1. Yes, this was a secular private school, not religious. 2. No, I won't name the school publicly. That wasn't my goal. 3. For those saying all private schools do this, many do, but not all, and not in such a manipulative way. 4. We've had offers from other private schools who saw the story, but we're happy with our decision. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking about the email. I won't share the full thing for privacy reasons, but here's the general structure of what I wrote. First, I acknowledged the school's reputation and expressed how honored we felt at our son's acceptance. I then laid out the timeline of communications, noting that at no point during the lengthy application process was this additional contribution mentioned. I explained our financial situation honestly, that we had budgeted for the full tuition through careful planning and family support, but that an additional $10,000 was beyond our means. The key part was questioning why such an essential requirement was kept hidden until after acceptance, creating a painful bait-and-switch for families. I suggested that if these contributions were truly essential for operations, they should be transparent about the full cost upfront so families could make informed decisions. I closed by withdrawing our application and suggesting that if they truly value diversity, as their mission statement claimed, they might want to reconsider practices that effectively screened out middle-income families who couldn't manage these surprise costs. It wasn't angry or accusatory, just straightforward about the impact of their policy. Edit 3. To the person who DM'd asking if I'd help write a letter to their kid's school about a similar issue. I'm not a professional writer or advocate, but I'm happy to look over what you draft. The key is to remain factual and focus on transparency rather than making it personal. Edit 4. My wife wants me to clarify that this was a joint decision all the way. She's actually the one who first said we should walk away, even before the viral email. She's the backbone of this family. Update, 2 weeks later. Things have gotten even more interesting since my last update. I've been contacted by an education reporter working on an investigative piece about hidden costs at elite private schools. Apparently, this practice is widespread but rarely discussed openly. After careful consideration, I agreed to speak with her, without naming the school, because I believe greater transparency will help other families. The reporter has already heard from over 30 families with similar stories from schools across the country. More surprisingly, I received a letter from the school's board of trustees yesterday. They've completely revamped their financial policy. Starting next year, they will 1. List all required costs up front in admission materials. 2. Make donations truly voluntary. 3. Create a new financial aid tier for middle-income families. 4. Institute anonymous reporting for any pressure tactics. They've asked if I would consider joining a parent advisory committee on financial accessibility. I'm considering it, though my son won't be attending. The most meaningful response came from a teacher at the school who reached out privately. She thanked me and said many faculty members were uncomfortable with the pressure put on families, but felt powerless to change it. Several are using this moment to push for salary increases instead of building projects, arguing that teacher quality impacts education more than new facilities. As for us, we've attended 2 events at the public school, and my son has already made friends with kids from the summer program. The principal is passionate about making the most of limited resources, and there's a real sense of community among the parents. I'm still processing everything that happened, but I'm at peace with our decision. Sometimes the right educational fit isn't about prestige or resources, it's about values alignment. That's the lesson I hope my son takes from all of this. For anyone facing a similar situation, trust your gut. If something feels wrong during the admission process, it probably is. The way a school handles your concerns tells you everything about how they'll treat your family for the years to come. Final edit. Thanks for all the support, everyone. I've turned off notifications now as this has taken on a life of its own. For those asking if I'm writing a book or starting an advocacy group, no plans for either. I'm just a regular dad who hit my limit with nonsense. Focus on your own families and speak up when things aren't right. That's all I did.